Push the chicken answer with, like, obviously the LeBlanc very strong in that regard.
It doesn't find too much more as the Monkey King will head back towards the Fog of War. Unintentional rhyme, but I did kind of like it. Oh dear. Okay, Moen going to move in. There is that counter-strike that we were talking about, and already Scumon's dead, first blood! And we said the early game was... I wasn't...
DPS. Scumon though tends to be more of a, hey, I'm going to try and farm it up and get to a position where post level 6 it can make things happen as Mirwin.
The flash forward, Hansama's here though. Moen picks up turret aggro. Oh no, the Slurkle is his demise. That's the most...
Mid.
Yeah, Elioya able to get himself over there. The flash pulverize comes in. Phenomenal shove comes down as well as Caps gives himself away by distorting. Still gonna have to try and do some funny business to escape Elioya, but he finds an Nimbus Strike and down goes Caps. A second kill for MKOI on the table now. It is just Moen moving back towards his outer turret on the top side. Threaded volley comes in. We'll see where the Caps can land the chains. Does connect them here as Scumon's making his way in as Elioya biding his time. Finds the Cyclone here onto the LeBlanc. Another shove from Jojo. This guy finding his targets whenever and that happened. Magical Journey delivers LeBrock, finds a Tempered Fate here onto the cow. Weaver's Wall comes in though and is going to block two of them off, and now it's Alvaro going down to start this one off. Hansama in a little bit of trouble, flashes out of the way of the seismic shove and eliminates Elioya as well. That is such a huge shutdown going over to the main carry of G2. Real rough there as well. It was so close for Jojo to try and get that kill onto Hansama, but he survives, and there is a solo kill. And Hansama waiting to try and get the damage in, but Alvaro, he's waiting as well. Another shove is going to connect, but Hans is so scary, has the barrier, uses it so well to take down Jojo. Now Alvaro, he does have Elioya coming in. Finally, the Nimbus Strike is going to come on down. Not enough from the Cosmic Binding there, and down will go this Yunara. And it's another trip home in Jojo's future. Meanwhile, I mean, they just don't stop fighting. Let's have a look at this one in the river as well, as Alvaro able to keep Hansama busy for a while, but even through the Unbreakable Will, he's going to break him. Scumon takes down the cow.
If I end up throwing out that Unraveled Earth, you're going to have to play defensive then as Caps, or you end up in a bit of a difficult spot. So I think that's where it'll be a case of how can G2 set up the Caps to get.
Mimic Distortion comes down as Caps is going to be able to chain up this Talia. Seismic Shove goes wide, and Jojo is just going to get exploded. Lebrov comes in with a Meep Slap, and that one's real dangerous as Alvaro escapes out of the Tempered Fate, and unfortunately now he's in the hands of Hansama, who will find that Arc of Ruin, and Caps steals away the kill. Finally on the board here. Doesn't have a whole lot of the blue stuff here as well, as Broken Blade looking real aggressive. There's a Leap Strike flash out there from Moen, but the flash to follow from Broken Blade, and he's not able to get over that wall. Blast Cone for the disengagement. Caps is going to find him. The double distortion is enough, but Elioya is going to be there. Caps needs a big amount of funny business, but unfortunately, you can't outplay that. Erupted just yet.
MKOI looks scared. They don't want to take the fight, and it means you're just getting the poke from G2.
Yeah, Moen in so much trouble, gets the third Q. And Broken Blade is able to help put him in the ground. So Moen not going to be here for this fight. That should be Soul Point going over to G2. MKOI are going to back away. I mean, it's what they have to do, but man, giving this up is just a disaster.
MKOI just didn't want to take the fight, and they gave Caps so much time to get the poke they wanted as Elioya now.
They get the Cyclone out as well, as Broken Blade just goes in. All Out comes on forward. Alvaro now with the Unbreakable Will, but it's looking a bit more breakable than you'd otherwise expect based on the name, as Hansama might be able to get a big chunk onto this inner turret as well. Zabrov is going to have to ult himself, but that buys time for Hansama to dash on over. Was it all a bait? The answer is maybe. Lebrov could be a target here. Super sidesteps Cosmic Binding nicely. Broken Blade able to stand beside them though, as Flash has to be employed to get out of the way of the Tempered Fate. Jojo comes in with the ulti there as well, but doesn't find too much more, as Alvaro in a very awkward position, and Broken Blade, he's got eyes only for Super here as he pushes him towards the blast plant. And I don't... Moen, Moen, are we okay? Okay, well, the Baron is going to do most of the work, killing Moen there as he was looking for a flank angle, but unfortunately MKOI, they had different ideas, and now the Baron is going to get started. Caps walks straight into a large line of rocks though, and the ace in the hole comes on in. Jojo finds the threaded volley, and down goes Caps. MKOI not out of this one yet, as Super is now walking towards BB. He gets knocked up by the Cyclone. Another shove there from Jojo as the Magical Journey gets him to relative safety. Scumon goes in just to be the hero, and he fights it! Hansama takes down Jojo, and I don't know how it worked, but absolutely absolutely it worked here for G2. Skumon continuing his onslaught, and Hansama is just clicking on these heads. It's a triple for the Yunara.
Out of the looking at the hat while he has a gun in one hand and a... I don't know what that other thing is.
Oh dear. Well, Moen is dead. Caps is going to chain him up, and Broken Blade going to help set him down there as Weaver's Wall comes on in. They want to try and block them off here, and Broken Blade might be the target, but the Tempered Fate is going to lock down the turret and 2 members of MKOI. So the wall does absolutely nothing. Lebrov is just making them look silly right now as the third Q connects, and the cow is just going to be stake here for G2's enjoyment. Hansama is unstoppable now as they will take down yet another inhibitor. And it's feeling pretty similar to a lot of the other matchups between these two squads in the LEC as G2 are looking to play with their food a little bit here. Cyclone doing a fair bit of work, but Elyoya is on his fountain with not much more hope other than to try and stay alive and watch his Nexus fall as G2 are on the board here at Worlds.